Good evening, boys and girls. Today I'm going to talk about a book. If that doesn't interest you, you can bugger off now. I have been reading Dante's The Divine Comedy. I've got the Oxford World Classics version. In my one, it's got an introduction, notes on the translation, bibliography, explanatory notes, maps, diagrams, plan, and the poem itself. It's written by a guy called Dante, a last name I couldn't pronounce even if I wanted to, between 1308 and his death in 1321. It's one of these great Italian works of literature or something. I've been trying to read this for about 3 years. I actually chewed through the first 2/3 of it pretty quickly, but the last third is it's very difficult, and I'll get into that later. The basic story of the Divine Comedy is it's a trip from Earth, through Hell, into Purgatory, up to Paradise. You got that? Dante is our main protagonist, and along the way he's helped along by a guy called Vigil and Beatrice near the end. For anyone wondering, the book is nothing like the game. I'm not entirely sure how the game came about. Beatrice isn't his wife as it is in the game. This is just passing knowledge that I have of the game. In the book, Beatrice is actually his guide when he gets to Paradise, because Vigil is a pagan, so can't go into Paradise but can go into Purgatory. So yeah, story starts out, Dante's walking along, there's a few animals, Vigil pops up and goes, "Hey man, do you want a hand?" Dante goes, "Cheers bro, you gonna help me get out of this forest?" And Vigil says, "Sure, we'll just go through hell." Makes sense. Dante's a bit wary, then thinks, fuck it, and off they go. You got all the circles of hell. You've got limbo, promiscuity, gluttony, many grabbers and wasters. I think it's the River Styx, the Angry and the Sullen, which is quite good because the boat on the River Styx actually floats above them, so they're all trying to grab onto the boat and get out. There's a wall of dis, because there is a sort of city in hell. There's also angels in hell, which just sort of fart about and be angel. They're complete pricks in this book. You think they'd be all like nice and kind, but they're just sort of, "Do not look upon me, I am an angel." Blur. Where we got? It's 9 rings. So 7th ring is violence against persons, property, self, God, nature, art, industry. A word I can't pronounce. The Great Abyss and the Waterfall. The 8th circle. Procurers, seducers, flatterers, Simenacs, futurologists, grafters and swindlers, hypocrites, thieves, corrupt advisors, scandalmongers, which is a delightful word, falsifiers, got 9th ring, which is treachery, and all sorts. Okay, so let's talk about hell first. Hell I got through pretty quick. I live in England. When I was growing up, there was a slight Christian thing going about. We've got churches, you get taught about it in school. Also, thanks to art, music, TV, films, we've all got a general idea of what hell is. Big empty place, big feck off demons, pain, suffering, rivers of burning pitch, torture, blah blah blah. The Divine Comedy also goes along with that. Also along the way, Dante talks to various souls that are trapped and the terrible things they've done and how they beg for forgiveness from Dante, and Dante's either like, "Oh man, that's brutal," or "You're a cunt, fuck you," but written in a far more eloquent way. As we derp along in hell, we eventually get to the big man himself, Satan, who's weirdly, hell gets colder, not hot. There's like a hot bit and it's really nasty, as you expect, and then it just gets colder and colder, and in the colder ice there's Satan just chewing on some people, because that's sort of what he does apparently in this. There's a lot of history in here as well. When Dante's talking to souls, they go through history of Italy and the world and religious stories and stuff like that. It's all very interesting. Then we get into Purgatory. Purgatory's alright. It's sort of a big spire in the middle of the sea. Well, it's Purgatory. It's just sort of dull. It's done as a great spiral, but the days seem to last forever, and people repent, they go up the spiral, and it might take thousands and millions of years, but then you get an eternity in paradise, so right on. And, you know, Dante and Vigil go around that and they talk to some guys who are trying to get forgiveness, and angels fart about as they always do, because angels seem like pricks like that. Then we get into Paradise, and Paradise is the bit that took me the longest to read. Basically, it's incredibly hard to write peace and fulfillment and happiness without a sort of abject way of doing it. You can't really explain what peace is unless you give someone something to compare it against. It's like, what is peace? Well, everything's nice. The problem is, good Mr. Dante here pulls everything sort of nice out for about 300 pages. Oh no, it's 200. It's 500 pages in total, and 200 of it is basically, oh, it's all lovely. There's one point Dante's eyes stop working because he sees, I think he sees Jesus, but I just think he sees a load of apostles. I sort of skimmed some bits because it has taken me so long to read about Paradise. And it just goes on and on and on, like I am up to, oh man, up to 6 minutes. It's just such a pain to read because they're just going on and on about it all being nice and everything being beautiful and everything being calm, and there are Beatrice and a couple of angels are farting about and Dante's drinking out of a river. And it just goes on and on for so long. But then in the final canto of Paradiso, which is, let's see if I get this right, I think that's the wrong canto. I think cantos are chapters, I have no idea, but every so often there's a new canto in a chapter. Paradiso XXXII / XXXIII canto XXXIII. The final bit about heaven's actually quite interesting because it talks about, it sort of goes and looks at the larger universe and how it's powered by love, and it's all actually quite nice and all very special and precious. It was actually fairly interesting to read at the end. It's just the rest of Paradises was incredibly boring. Also, it's a garden. It's a bit like the Garden of Eden. It's not like fluffy clouds and harps and crap like that. There's like proper garden, rivers, angels farting about again, because they're always farting about doing something. I'm sure angels are actually much nicer, but it's been so long since I actually read about them when they were in hell and again farting about, that now they've just got this horrible image of just these big blokes with wings going, oh, fuck you, I'm an angel. I'm hot shit, I am. Also, I apologise for stepping on anyone's views of religion and Christianity, hell, heaven, purgatory and all that. These are just my thoughts and views from after reading the book. So yeah, the Divine Comedy, pretty good. I suggest getting the Oxford one, because apparently it's one of the better translations, and the maps and timeline and everything else makes it a lot easier to understand all the stories that are going on in the book. Because during Hell there's a lot of stories about wars and all sorts of stuff. And it can get a bit confusing, especially if you're an oaf like me. Pretty good. I probably won't read it again, I'll probably sell it now because it's taken me that long to go through. I might reread about Hell though, because, you know, river Styx, demons, souls being tortured for eternity. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, I give it 7 out of 10. Although I wish I got through it quicker. I wish I just got off my arse and read that last bit of Paradise far faster. But man, Paradise and Purgatory are boring. I mean, Purgatory being boring is understandable. Man, Paradise being boring? Ooh. I'm not sure I could do an eternity of Paradise. Then again, you just feel fulfilled and good for eternity. Yeah, it's even hard to explain it after you've read it. So yeah, if you've got a mild interest in it, or if you've heard of it, I'd look it up. I only got this because I heard of it in an anime I saw when I was in high school. What was it? Devilman, the English translation. One of the characters mentions it. I was like, that sounds cool. I'll look that shit up. And every time I asked, no one knew what the hell was going on. Oh yeah, here we go. Purgatory. Yeah, it's got an exit from hell. That was a weird thing. The translations between each area is weird. Like, in hell they just sort of went, Oh, here we go, we're in Purgatory now. Alright then. Oh yeah, it is Eden. Heaven, even Divine Forest. Look at that, they've got 7 rings of various... what is it? Purgatory. I guess that makes sense. So yeah, if it interests you, pick it up, give it a go. If it doesn't interest you, just skip it because you'll be there for fucking ever and you'll hate it. It's not that long of a book. It says it's... the main story in this was 500 pages, but they're really spaced out. So if you do get lost, you can head over to the commentary and notes and look up the exact line you're up to, because it's numbered every 4 lines. So I can read a bit, and if I don't understand it, I can just flick over to the commentary and notes and look it up. Which would be very handy. So yeah, it's interesting, it's not bad. I've read far worse, I've read better. But it was interesting, it's one of those works of Greek literature. Guess I'll have to figure out something else to read now. Fuck. I could try and finish a Game of Thrones. Oh, I really can't be asked with Game of Thrones. I've enjoyed the series too much. Now I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, fucking get on with it. Because there is a lot of farting about in Game of Thrones. Just people walking and shagging. I could read, what was it? Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. Figure out some. Book suggestions welcome. Dante's Divine Comedy, 7 out of 10. If you want to read it, give it a go, it ain't bad. Although, Purgatory and Paradise are a bit of a long bit. As always, I'm Big Adam, and I do long, rambly reviews that don't really go anywhere and just go on and on and on and on. For some reason, people actually watch this crap. Or listen, because there's not exactly much to watch. Because I have no idea what I'm going to put on screen. Shit.